Guys, we're cooked. I don't know if you've seen this. This is a new promotional video that was put out by 1X. They are a robotics company that has been creating a humanoid robot dedicated to doing household tasks. They even designed their robot with a like sweater texture, just so it looks more like welcoming and friendly. And so they released this a couple days ago. So we got a million views, and they've started opening up for pre-orders for this robot, which they're going to start delivering in 2026. So the robots are coming. We are screwed. But more importantly, I think feminist girl boss women are absolutely cooked. I'm going to go into this more in the video, but there is nothing now that feminist women can offer and bring to the table that men will want. And I think that is a very, the future is bleak. It's not good. I think folks need to change their tune and either side with humanity or we're going to go the way of robots and AI and all this kind of stuff, because this is not looking good. So let's dive into this.
My name is Bernd, and today we're launching Neo, our humanoid for the home.
Neo, the robot, Nene.
Let you live with it.
Yeah.
You're just not telling me? Well, what does it do?
Like my chores. I just leave and I come back and they're all done.
Are you kidding me?
No.
So it's basically like a butler for your house, like a housekeeper and a butler. Okay, I want you to pay attention to how this is being marketed to us. Like, they are deliberately framing this as like a positive experience. So this robot is going to come into your home. It's going to do all the chores that you don't want to do. So it's going to give you more and more free time. That's what the promise of Silicon Valley is right now. All these AI and robotics gurus, they're like, just adopt this, do that, and you'll have more free time than ever before. It's playful, right? It's dancing. It's playing with the VR. Like, this is how it's being sold to us. But I think we've all watched the movies. We know how this is going to end up. You're basically inviting like a mass surveillance device into your home to monitor things 24/7. I guarantee you the people who are going to adopt this probably aren't going to be happily married couples who enjoy their lives. It's going to be people who are single, disaffected, maybe people who can't afford, like the elderly who can't afford like a human healthcare provider because human costs are going up. So maybe an alternative to that. I was watching another video covering this, and someone in the comments was talking about basically starting a housekeeping company, so a maid service with a fleet of these robots. So people are going to use it that way. Like, there's all sorts of ways people are going to use this, but this idealized version of how these robots are supposed to manifest in our homes, like, this isn't reality. It's not going to look like this at all.
This all started a decade ago, working really hard on making what is Neo a reality. But to me personally, this started when I was like 10 years old. I grew up reading these beautiful books and watching these beautiful sci-fi movies where the future was all about how we as humans, we really focus on the things that matter to us. Rosie the robot would be ensuring family had time, or Data would help humanity explore the galaxy. And I really hope that when you get your Neo now, we can help give you back some of that time.
So I don't know what like sci-fi stuff he watched. I watched like I, Robot, like The Matrix, like that kind of stuff. I think we all know how this is going to go. I mean, like Blade Runner. I mean, come on. Like I think we all know how this is going to go. So he's him and people like him in Silicon Valley have this very like utopic view of how the world is going to play out, and I don't think it's going to be anything like this at all.
So you can really spend it on what you feel is very meaningful to you.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, and she's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away, wonder this time where she's gone. Wonder if she's gonna stay. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, and this house just ain't no home. Anytime she goes away.
Okay, you know this is a song that's playing in the background right now? Like There Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone. And it's referring to the she. It's about a woman. That's kind of the heart of what I want to get at with this. Like, this robot isn't really designed to be a helper around the home. It's designed to replace women. So you think about it, like historically, like women have always been caretakers. They've always been the head of the domestic realm. Then feminism was like, nah, we're not going to do that. We're all going to go be girl bosses, work for, corporate America. And so that's what women did. We all went to college and got these big girl jobs, and we left our homes. So they have been vacant for decades. We then began outsourcing all of the things we needed, labor and like childcare and all that kind of stuff, to all sorts of different services. So if you have the means to do so, you're going to send your kid to a childcare center. Maybe you'll have a maid service come in once or twice a month or more. People order takeout. They don't cook anymore. So the role women used to play has been completely outsourced. And so the role a lot of modern women now play is they're basically a economic partner and a competitor with men. And so this has obviously led to fragmentation and atomization within our society. Men are rightfully going their own way, and girl bosses can't be bothered with men they consider to be inferior to them because they don't meet their insanely high standards. And so we have a mating crisis in this country. You see this across the board, not even just the United States, like it's across Western civilization and in Asia. But you're seeing people just being perpetually single. You're seeing the cultural narrative being reframed around this concept of singleness. And now you have such tension between men and women that they want nothing to do with each other. So what's going to happen is you're going to have, obviously, the cohort of traditional women who are like, okay, this is crazy. We're not going to go this route. They're going to keep doing what they do. As they do. I'm not going to have any problems with that. It's going to be the highly atomized people who are going to start adopting stuff like this. And I think especially men. I think this is really going to cater towards men. I don't think this caters to women because it takes away a lot of what it fundamentally means to be a woman and leading your household domestically. Like, I don't want a robot coming in and cooking. Like, I like to cook. Let me cook. I don't care to have a robot put dishes away. Like, I'm gonna have kids and they're gonna do that. They're gonna learn how to be responsible and they're gonna learn certain skills. Like, there's certain thing about running a household from a human perspective. And once you invite a robot in, one that currently isn't fully automated yet, there's gonna be humans in the background kind of operating it through virtual reality and teaching it and guiding it. Like that's gonna fundamentally change the domestic realm, and that is the realm women once held. And so this raises an obvious question, like, what is the place of women in the future? There's no place for them in the workforce, right? Like, everything's going to get automated. A lot of their jobs are BS jobs that they're, squirreling away every day, like not really doing actual real work. So there's no value for women to do like paper pushing stuff anymore. And those women don't want to do domestic work. They've already said as much. And so now you have robots coming in, and this one in particular that's positioning itself to do the domestic work that women don't want to do. So what is the role for women in the future? I think this is a big deal that people really need to start talking about.
And I know.
Neo is a humanoid companion designed to transform your life at home. It combines AI and advanced hardware to help with daily chores and bring intelligence into your everyday life. Neo was engineered from the ground up for safety. Its tendon-driven body is quiet and lightweight. Its low-energy motions make it uniquely safe for you and your home. But safe doesn't mean limited. Neo's hardware comes packed with features like human-level dexterity and a 55-pound carrying capacity so that it can handle any of your chores reliably.
Notice on these features how it's not going to complain or nag at you. It's not going to say that you did something wrong. It's not going to make your home a hostile environment. So right from the get-go, if I were a dude looking at this, I'd be like, wow, that's a pretty good deal. You get a 5'6" humanoid robot that's 66 pounds. I can program it to do chores for me, and it's not going to nag me. It's not going to call me names. It's not going to emotionally abuse me. It's not going to bleed. I mean, it's going to cost something, yeah, but in a minute I'll show you it's not actually going to bleed me dry. It could actually end up being a cost savings. Like, this is looking, from a male perspective, this looks pretty good.
We also worked really hard to make Neo's design friendly and comfortable to be around. Each Neo comes with a machine-washable knit suit, a head, and shoes that you can customize to fit your style. As for using your Neo, we made the experience simple. Out of the box, the core of your experience is fully autonomous. The chores feature lets you schedule a time for your Neo to do all of your chores so you can come back to a cleaner home every day. With the AI companion feature, you can talk to your Neo to get assistance with anything from a hard question to a household task. With Neo's autonomy, you can get access to all of its latest AI features to get help with tasks on demand. And the Neo app lets you interact with your Neo from anywhere. But all you have to do to get started is turn on your Neo and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Neo. I'm here to help around the house. What's your name?
Harry.
Nice to meet you, Harry. When you have a question or want something done, just let me know.
We built the chores feature to give you your time back. You give your Neo a list of chores, you schedule a time that you want them done so that you can focus on what matters to you while your Neo does the rest. You can schedule chores by either talking to your Neo or using the app. The way it works is you schedule a time that works best for you, and then you create a list of chores. Whether it's something more specific, like watering the plants on Tuesdays, or something more general, like tidying the house, your Neo will get it done at the scheduled time. If there are any chores that your Neo hasn't learned how to do autonomously, you can use expert mode to have an expert.
I just want to point out, like, if someone is living in a house like this, they probably aren't doing the chores themselves anyways. Like, they probably have a housekeeper. Like, you've seen all these like homes depicted on like in film, and I'm sure you've seen them like on social media and stuff. Like, they're immaculately clean homes. Like, they don't look like people live in them. Like, average people, their houses don't look like this. So they're depicting a version of life that isn't realistic for the vast majority of people. So you're catering to people who already have the financial means to pay for a housekeeping service. So you're not actually alleviating any sort of burdensome task from these people. Like, they've already taken care of that for themselves.
From 1X supervise the session and provide corrective intervention to help Neo complete any task. Anytime you're away from home and you want to see what your Neo's up to, you can open the app and see directly from Neo's point of view.
This is so Black Mirror. I'm not gonna lie. like, okay, what are you going to do with your freed up time? Like, this is a question no one is really thinking about. And I think we need to start thinking about this deeply. Like, if you had more free time, what exactly would you do with it? You know, I think most people would probably spend it scrolling on social media or watching YouTube and Netflix and not necessarily doing anything more of value. And I say this because, like I said before, we're a highly atomized society now. A lot of us have disconnected with our family. We either live far away from family or, you know, we've disconnected with them because we can't be bothered to be friends with our crazy racist uncle, you know, because they think politically different than us. And then obviously after COVID, a lot of relationships and friendships changed, and the nature of how we socially interact with one another changes. So, like, what does this look like? Like I said, a lot of folks in Silicon Valley are touting this utopic view of a world where we have more leisure time. But what exactly does that look like? What are you going to spend your time doing? I think that's a fundamental question that everyone needs to start asking themselves.
I can't seem to find my glasses. Is this paprika?
No, that's cayenne pepper. Also, your glasses are on your shirt.
Could I use this in my chili?
They're both made from chili peppers, and you could put cayenne in your chili, but it is much spicier.
Neo is a speech-enabled AI companion made for any kind of conversation. Where other AI assistants are confined to your phone or computer, Neo lives with you in your physical space and has the ability to see, hear, and remember things about your surrounding environment to provide you with uniquely helpful assistance. For example, it can suggest what to cook based on what you have in the fridge, remember your progress while teaching you a new language, and even give you interior design advice. The gestures and the light rings express Neo's intentions. Its audio intelligence can also pick up on whether you are addressing it or someone else in the room to decide if it should respond or not. As you might expect from a home robot, talking to Neo with natural language is the primary user interface for all of Neo's functionality, including autonomy.
Okay, so basically this is taking AI companionship to a whole new level. I've talked about this in other videos. You've probably encountered this as well. But we're like undergoing this radical experiment right now where people are building emotional attachment to AI chatbots, or people who have gotten engaged, like they're dating them, they've gotten engaged to them. They're starting romantic relationships with these AI chatbots. And this is why I think women are cooks. So, okay, they're going to do the chores that women used to. So now women's labor is completely freed up. Feminists are going to be like, ooh, rah, rah, okay, we win. Fine. But because of the context and the nature of gender relations right now, men don't want anything to do with those women. Most men want, you know, true companionship. They want someone who is going to do things out of acts of love and service, not out of utility. And so because men have gone their own way and women are kind of being forced into their own in celibacy right now, they're going to start looking to these robotic AI systems as alternatives for companionship and relationship. Again, this marketing video chose a very deliberate image of an older couple that the robot is attending to, and I think everyone could be like, yeah, of course. Like, you know, when you're older, companionship becomes harder. You have a lot more different needs. So yeah, of course, something that makes sense. This makes sense. But what they're not considering or showing here is that this is probably going to be younger people, or people, you know, in their 30s, 40s, those that have the income to support this. But people who are lonely, and there is a loneliness epidemic in this country. People who are lonely have lost hope, have resigned themselves to the fact that they're not going to find a human companion. So they're going to start looking for robotic companionship, and like that's a huge experiment. Like, I don't know, that's probably not a good thing, right? Like, what is that going to do to the human psyche? You know, we're not going to know until we start doing it.
Your Neo comes with Redwood AI, enabling it to do basic household tasks autonomously.
Yeah. No, for sure. Okay, one sec. All right. Yeah. Hey, Neo! Can you get the door, please?
Neo's autonomy works by taking requests like,
Hey, Neo, can you take this cup to the sink for me?
and breaking it down into simple steps, such as walking to the person, grabbing the cup, and then walking the cup to the kitchen, and then putting it away. Neo's autonomy improves with diverse data and real-world experience. As Neo does more chores, you'll receive updates to your Redwood model that increase the complexity of tasks that Neo can handle.
Okay, so interpret that as you're basically going to be paying to use this robot, and you're going to be paying to train their AI model. Like, the more tasks you give it, the more training data they're going to collect, and then the more they'll be able to refine models in the future. So you're basically paying, early adopters are paying for the privilege of training these robotic AI assistants.
Such as finding your keys and wallet, or doing a full laundry cycle end-to-end. Eventually, Neo will become fully autonomous, capable of helping you with anything around the house.
The Neo you
creepy.
get today
Can't lie.
will only get better. And as we keep shipping features, it'll be more and more useful in your everyday life. Now, the journey there is not going to be perfect, and we're not going to pretend it's going to be. But as someone who lives with Neo every day, there is no experience quite as magical. So today, we're excited to invite you in on this journey. We believe that the future will be shaped not just by us, but by all of you who believe in this as deeply as we do. Now, if this is you, pre-order your Neo today at 1x.tech.
Okay, so you can pre-order now. It's a $200 deposit, and next year they'll ship out. And you can either pay upfront $20,000 for the robot to have it for its lifetime, or you can pay $500 a month and get the standard rollout. Of course, there's a lot of questions about what this is going to look like. Like, once you allow these things into your home, like, there's no longer any sort of privacy, right? Like, all of the data that this robot collects, it's going to go to this company. It's going to train their AI model, like I said. But they're going to be creating these large data sets that we already know get sold to data brokers and then sold to advertisers. So you're letting something come into your home, map it out, and then all that data is being sold. They said in the beginning, but right now they're going to be using expert mode to correct it as it learns. So basically, you're going to have a third-party human remote in and help teach Neo to do these chores. So you're going to have a human surveying your home at any point in time. We know already that AI can hallucinate and go off the rocker and do its own thing. So there's no guarantee that it's not going to like plot to kill you while you're at work. But then, of course, like, there's the more existential question that comes with this with regard to companionship and roles and responsibilities. Like, once we start allowing these to come into our homes and take over roles and responsibilities and duties, like, where does that leave us? You know, like, I don't necessarily know that more leisure time is necessarily better, especially because we have such weak discipline that we wouldn't be able to channel it to more, creative pursuits. Like, I don't know if someone who got one of these and was able to stop, working or save some time, if they would automatically transfer that saved time into writing a book or painting or designing clothing, right? Like, I think there's this assumption that that's going to happen. I think realistically that's probably not going to be the case. Like I said, I think more people are going to turn their attention towards YouTube and TikTok and Netflix, and they're just going to be eyeballs glued to a screen all day. So I think it's really important to start critically thinking about this. But I really want to call the attention to the cost savings as it relates to women, because I don't think women quite understand how screwed they are. Like this is not good. So already I'm seeing that, like, a maid service, like I said, it's only a matter of time until maid services start using this. Maid service or being a maid is one of the top, I believe, 5. It's the 5th or 6th top employment position for women in this country. Another place I could see this being leveraged is inside of daycare centers and facilities. Again, those are maid services and daycare facilities are low-paying jobs that don't pay workers very well. Those workers tend to predominantly be women. And so, you probably wouldn't put this in like an infant room in a daycare center, right? But like if you had a group of, 8-year-olds after school, very easily could see something like this being implemented and keeping eyes on the kids, but still having their autonomy. Home health assistants, right? Like that's a role that is increasing in demand, but there isn't a commensurate increase in the wage for doing that job. And so when you look at the elderly, they're going to need assistance and companionship. This obviously seems like a natural solution. Okay. So there you're eliminating a lot of jobs women work, especially working class women work in the caretaking economy. So that's, that's an issue. But then you look at like the value proposition. Like I'm only looking at this from an economic perspective. I want to be very clear on this. Just looking at the math and the economics of this, not obviously the fluffy stuff of being married and relationships, but just the economic value of women in the home. Like if you are a woman in a marriage and you complain, you're one of the women who complain about having to do household chores, how, women have too much domestic labor, and you are just nagging all of the time, there is now a bounty on your head, okay? So for $499 a month, someone can pay for Neo, have them come in the home, teach them how to do the chores you don't want to do, and that's a pretty good cost savings. I did an essay on Substack kind of outlining domestic labor. The piece is titled here, Women Don't Have to do housework, so why do they? So basically making the argument that, in today's age, you have these girl bosses who are making so much more money than their grandmas ever did, yet they're still complaining about doing unpaid household labor. And the reality is there are enough resources out there, whether you use a combination of robotic tools, so like an iRobot, like vacuum cleaner, or something like that, not even going the full Neo route, but like an automated robot to go around and do the floors every day. Like you have those tools at your disposal, but also there, like I said, there's a whole slew of service workers, predominantly women, but who offer services, who will come in and clean your home, who will prepare meals for you, who make it possible to outsource all of this labor. So I crunched some numbers here because I was curious to see what the cost was. And so if you're a woman and your responsibility is to, take care of the household, so looking at housework and looking at food prep and cleanup, you're looking at like 80, 90 hours a month spent doing that. And so to outsource that, I estimate it's about $1,000, right? So for $1,000 a month, you could hire someone to come in and clean your home, do your laundry, send your laundry off, do catering or a private chef or whatever, but you could have someone prepare your food for you so you don't have to do any of the cooking. And then that pretty much covers a lot of your bases. So for $1,000 a month, that's basically the cost right now of doing a lot of this stuff, okay? So let's compare that to Neo. For $500 a month or $20,000 for, infinite ownership, you could have Neo do the same thing for you. So if I were a dude and I were either single or married in an unhappy marriage, and I had a wife who was nagging about me doing more housework all the time, here's the options, right? I can either pay someone else, another human, $1,000 a month to do all the stuff that the woman doesn't want to do, or I can pay the robot to come in and do it for $500 a month. But really, like, women have no value anymore. Like a price tag has been put on the value of women because women have made such a fuss about not wanting to do labor in the home, and because they themselves have quantified the costs and the burden of doing unpaid household labor, alternatives have emerged. So you can outsource, or you can bring a robot in and it will do the chores that women no longer want to do. And then of course it will provide the companionship that, frankly, a lot of guys seek, and they don't want all of the drama that comes with being a woman. So, okay, the only other value that women provide at the moment is reproductive in nature. So either fulfilling sexual needs or actually having children. And both those things are also on their way out. I mean, it's only a matter of time until these robots are equipped to meet all of your physical needs. So that's in the works already. I've done a video about a cyber brothel in Germany. So this is already starting to manifest. Okay, so then that leaves women to reproduce. Well, artificial wombs are coming, like it's only a matter of time. So where does that leave women? Like, what is the value now of women? Is there value of women anymore? Like, this is a big existential question. By inviting this robot into the space that women historically have occupied, this is effectively replacing women. And I think everyone knows that. And I think a lot of people are okay with that because women have removed themselves from the home already. And men don't want them anymore because they don't want to deal with the drama. They don't want to deal with the hassle. And so I think women need to wake up and smell the roses and see what's happening. Women are being replaced. And there's not going to be a future for women in the world that's being created. And I don't think women realize that. There's no future for childless cat ladies who can't be bothered to load the dishwasher. There's nothing they have to offer the future society that's going to emerge out of this, out of a new world that is integrated and cohabitated with robots and artificial intelligence. There's no place for women. So I think this is a turning point. This is a turning point, y'all. Once these things start going into homes and we start normalizing this kind of stuff, like, I don't think there's a way back. I think now is the time to make decisions about this kind of stuff. Like, this won't come into my household. I can tell you that right now. I will happily cook and clean and retain my humanity, even if it takes away leisure time. Like, I'd rather be human than not. So that's, that's the choice we've made for our household, that we're going to be humans and not have this kind of stuff come into it. But other people are not going to make the same choice, and so we're going to have a new society emerge, a bifurcation, right? And a good corollary, look at the Amish and how they live and compare it to the rest of us, right? Like, the Amish had made deliberate decisions about how they interact with technology, the relationships they have within their community, and how they interact with the outside world. And they have made those decisions and separated themselves from the world. And they're, I think, doing just fine. There's nothing wrong with them, but it clearly shows a group of people that have stopped progressing along with the rest of us, right? And so I think we're moving at that same pace now with mainstream society as it relates to robotics and artificial intelligence. And so there's going to be a choice to be made. Do you go with this? Do you allow this stuff into your home? And do you go down this route? Or do you preserve your humanity and say, nah, we're not going to do this? And you kind of go the Amish route and say, okay, we're going to do some things the old-fashioned way and for good reason. And just recognize that society is going to bifurcate and take different directions because of this. And there's going to be consequences, right? There's going to be social consequences to this, and there's going to be trade-offs, and people need to be made aware of it. But for women in particular, this is going to take jobs. This is going to take jobs of working class women. This is going to replace the girl bosses who can't be bothered to do any of this kind of stuff. There's not going to be a need for them in the future anymore. And so I think, I think this is a definitely a turning point, and something we start thinking about moving forward as more and more of this technology is pushed on us from folks in Silicon Valley and elsewhere. Definitely need to start thinking about this. I would love to know what you think about this. Have you heard of this before? I knew this was in the works. I'd seen some other promo videos a couple months ago about this, but I didn't know it was being released quite yet. But I'd love to know your thoughts about this, where you think this is going, and especially if I've said anything that resonates with you. Like, could you see yourself adopting this? Like, is this a preferable option to a nagging wife? Is this something that guys will adopt and use and as a viable alternative to women? I'd be curious to know your thoughts on this. I appreciate you watching. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this analysis, I'd love it if you'd like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Stay human, friends. This is a wild world we're entering into.